Aries 24. An open window blowing a curtain into a shape of a cornucopia. A strange image. Now, cornucopia, this is the horn of plenty, is a very interesting symbol. Esoterically speaking, it's the other side of the unicorn. A unicorn's horn is a spiral to a point. And the point is celebrated as having magical powers. If the unicorn would dip its horn to touch some impure water, then the water would become purified. So we focus mainly on this singular point at the very tip of the unicorn horn. But actually the other end of the horn, the spiraling out into a greater and greater sense of life. This is the symbol of the horn of plenty, the abundance of life. And the idea here is that the swaying towards this single pointedness of the mind, control of the mind, meditation, service, healing service, spiritual focus. That's one end. And then we kind of bounce back to the other side of the equation, which is this horn of plenty. And we receive abundance, we enjoy abundance. So the image is fairly subtle, this horn of plenty image. Now the open window is openness to forces of the spirit, which the wind represents. So here we're saying, well, if we open up to spirit, then spirit will blow us into abundance. We just need to have that focus for a while, and then relax and enjoy the echo of what we've put out into the world. The mystery of spiritual life is best expressed in the number 3. Push back, and adaptation. This is the Tao. The Tao is the adaptability of life. The yin and the yang are operating all of the time, and because of that interactive operation, that produces a dynamism, which is life itself. This is not in any way different from the mystery of electricity. Positive and negative charge interacting together, producing a flow of energy. It is not a metaphor. This is a description. This is life. Life is basically what we're doing with a magnetic field. The whole of the physical universe can be seen quite legitimately as a magnetic field. And those of you who remember schoolboy physics might remember the solenoid, the coil of wire into which an electrical current is put, creates a field. And if you move something up and down within that field, energy expresses itself. We can see ourselves as doing that. The field of life is our magnetic current, is our magnetic field. And whatever we do or have done to us is a movement within that produces a phenomenon. And although the spiritual teachings on the matter don't go into the physics, we are concerned in this age of spiritual dearth, the lack of spiritual awareness, to provide our answers for the meaning of life in terms of scientific materialism. We want explanations. We want rational explanations for anything that we choose to believe in. Well, I say we, I mean, some of us don't. We're happy to trust our intuition. But it's really reassuring if the mystic and the scientist actually, in their different ways, come up with the same idea. And in this case, we can really kind of see quite easily that that's the case, that the magnetic field that might be called the plasma field in physics, plasma physics has studied this. The atomic structure of life doesn't hold water anymore. That is not the way life is made up anymore on atoms. There's something else. And this something else is basically electricity. So what we're seeing here is that the spiritual expression of life it comes as a wind. It comes as it will. You can't really predict it, and it comes strong, and it comes soft, it comes gentle, and it comes damaging. This is life coming at us, and we are bound to respond to that. Now, this teaching suggests that if we want our life to be a cornucopia, then abundance comes in response to having done something else. And that something else is to focus to a point with good intention. That's the essential mystery of the unicorn's horn. Just focusing exactly on something which will have a healing effect. And if we train ourselves to be like that, to adopt a rather unicorn-like attitude in any situation, then the abundance that follows is fairly guaranteed in time. So Aries 24 could be called the shaping power of higher forces. And the thing that we have to really, if we have our sun or moon or another planet at Aries 24, we have to understand that whatever we do towards our own well-being is rewarded. If we just go along with things, putting up with what we don't want, crowing a little bit, feeling self-important when we have what we do want, well, that's not really the best strategy. That's not the ideal way forward. The life is, for sure, you can't do anything about that. And life is pretty much defined by this dynamic movement, this inevitable dynamism that comes from the interactivity of two opposing forces. You can call them yin and yang, you can call them positive or negative, you can call them push or pull. We adopt one of those attitudes in every situation. We either push or we attract. We may not do that consciously. Most people are unconscious of what they're doing. But as we study the possibility of what can be done and what are the results of what can be done, we will see that whatever we give out must come back to us, not only in quantity but in quality. So it stands clearly to reason that if you choose to have abundance in life, then you need to give abundantly. That's how it comes back to you. So the example of the unicorn, which is a symbol of self-sacrifice, it's one of the symbols of Christ, as indeed is the pelican, another creature that sacrifices itself for the benefits of others. So if you do that, if you serve without any inclination at all to get anything from the service, not even kudos, serve in humility and secretly, and it's more effective, this formula. If you serve by giving abundantly, you serve and you serve and you serve, you give to whomever wants you to give, you serve anyone who needs you to serve. What will happen, not that you're looking for it, but what will happen is your life will become a statement of abundance. That's the mystery of Aries 24. So, sun or moon or whatever in that position, just operate this principle and it will work for you. Now, we have to remind ourselves that abundance is not measured in dollar signs or big cars or houses or plenty of assets. That's not really abundance. Abundance is a state of being. It's a quality. And if you have mastered the secret of abundance, then whatever you do, wherever you go, you don't have to build up the infrastructure by which you become materialistically rich. It's not necessary. You just carry this sense of abundance with you. You fully enjoy what you have and you feel abundantly blessed by that. If you haven't got a lot of food, then make yourself hungry, and then the food that you do have will make you feel really blessed. That's one way around the question. It is not my experience that rich people feel richer than poor people. It really isn't. Poor people enjoy what they have much more fully, in my experience, and they tend to be more generous. Interestingly, as I've travelled around, and I always look for a poor person to help me rather than a rich person if I need help. A poor person is much more readily willing to give what they have, to share their abundance. Somehow they just live that way because they know the secret, this secret, that abundance is an inner state.